Hello, hello. I'm Zachary Hines, and this is what you missed at the Straz. Welcome. I'm Zachary Hines, and I'm with the fabulous LeeAnn Day Douglas, and we are talking about something different this time because I missed you last week.
I missed you too.
It's not fun going to the theater without you anymore. You
No,
spoiled me.
I know. You're my date. So I had a new date last week.
Ugh,
I took somebody
cheating.
else. I
Cheating
know. I
on
took
me.
somebody else to the theater. So
I did take 2 other people with me. So I also, just want you to know that you weren't the only one, skipping out on me.
Okay. Very good. Very good.
But they couldn't compare. They're lovely and fabulous, but nothing compares to you.
So we were supposed to go to Diavolo together. That was the plan, and I ended up having to go to a conference in New York City. And so we weren't able to go to the theater together. So instead of this is what you missed at the Straz, basically, this is kind of what you missed in New York.
What Zach missed
in
New York.
in
All
New
the fun
York.
stuff.
Yes, there were some fun things in New York. One of the things about going to a show in New York that I really find so different is when you go to Morsani Hall, people don't realize unless they've been to a show in New York how lucky they are to sit in the seats in Morsani Hall because there's a lot of elbow room, they're really comfortable, there's leg room, and if you've ever sat in a seat in Morsani Hall and think there's not leg room and that I'm crazy, you need to go sit in seats in New York.
Yes, or we don't realize how nice it is to sit in a theater built in the 80s. Most of the theaters in New York are from the early 1900s or earlier. So people were smaller back then. Just go to you saw the Tampa Theater. They had to have that whole renovation where they were able to increase their seat size because prior to that, they had, early 1900s seats where, we're different people now.
Yes, we are different people now, and the seats are really uncomfortable. And when you get in a theater in New York City and you are shoulder to shoulder, knee to knee. I mean, I was playing footsie with the guy next to me, not intentionally. There was just there was no room.
We know what a theater flirt you are.
Oh my gosh. And it was so warm in there because everybody was packed in like sardines. So the temperature just wasn't comfortable at all. So that's my one complaint about New York theaters.
And what about the bathrooms? So, we think that the line to the bathrooms here is bad, but I feel like in New York, it's, a mad dash.
Yeah, whatever theater you go to, I'm like, where's the ladies' room? And they're like, it's upstairs, it's downstairs. But, you go upstairs and there's 5 stalls and you have 600 women trying to use 5 stalls, and so they have stanchions, and it looks like a ride at Disney World where you have to like wait in this line for the bathroom. So the bathroom situation here is nothing compared to bathrooms in New York.
Oh yeah, this wasn't New York. I think this was when Hamilton was in Philadelphia. They just had the Philadelphia Inquirer wrote this article all about this woman whose her job is to get like all the thousands of people that are at Hamilton into the bathrooms in 20 minutes and back to their seats before Act 2. And kind of the traffic control that it really takes to make that happen is pretty wild.
Yeah, I can imagine. So anyway, I saw a couple of shows when I was in New York City. The first show I saw, just a couple,
shows.
Just a few small shows.
No big deal.
So I saw Moulin Rouge. Which was, I wasn't certain if I was going to like it or not because I hated the movie.
Wow.
I hated the movie.
Do you still hate the movie?
I haven't seen the movie lately. I was going to watch it again before recording this, but I just didn't have the time. But I don't like Nicole Kidman.
What?
I know.
I'm sorry. We're going to have to end this podcast.
I'm so strange. I just don't like her. And so I didn't enjoy the movie at all. And so I wasn't sure if I was going to like the show. I went because a coworker who was with me really wanted to see the show. And I was like, I don't care. Let's just go see it. And so we walk in and there is, it's like, imagine Diagon Alley in Harry Potter, where everything is just eye-poppingly gorgeous, bright colors. It was amazing, the staging of Moulin Rouge. They had this very large red neon Moulin Rouge sign that was right in the front. There was a huge purple elephant up
Yes,
in the
the
mezzanine.
elephant.
And then in the left mezz, there was, or it's probably right mezz from the stage, there was the windmill. And so they took up a lot of mezzanine seating to actually put these set pieces. I was really amazed that they did that, but it was a really, really cool effect. Um,
It looked like they really transformed the whole theater itself outside of even just the set on
They did,
stage.
because I was looking at some of the there was, I don't even know what you call it. I'm not an architecture person, but the scroll work and I call it the artwork, the plaster, the artistic plaster that's done like on the mezzanine boxes,
Mm-hmm.
and it had little windmills in it.
Oh,
And
wow.
so I'm sure they didn't originally have little
No, no.
windmills there. So they must have sanded them down and added the windmills just for Moulin Rouge, which I found really fascinating. And it was a really cool effect because they just completely took over the theater.
See, those are the
Um,
things that get me. I love the little, like the nuances, because, it's easy to throw like a big elephant on the side and make it look cool. And it's obviously going to make a statement. But then when you see that plus the, little tiny details and you're like, wow, that really just fully immerses you into the experience.
yeah, yeah. So the staging was great. The music was completely updated. So it wasn't exactly like the movie. I think there was only 1 or 2 songs from the movie.
They
The
have to have some Madonna, right?
The rest was all modern music. I can't remember if there was any Madonna. There was some Ariana Grande. There was definitely some like Christina Aguilera. There was, oh gosh, I can't remember her name, and I love her.
Beyonce,
No,
Katy
Poker
Perry.
Face,
Oh, Gaga?
Gaga. There was Lady Gaga, which was amazing the way that they used it.
Oh.
Yeah, so it was really cleverly done. The story is the same story that you're gonna get from like Rent and La Boheme,
Right.
and you've got the girl who needs money, who does things she shouldn't be doing to make money, and dies of consumption at the end. So sorry, spoiler, but
But if you haven't seen the movie by now,
if you haven't seen the movie, if you haven't seen La Boheme, if you haven't seen Rent, then you're not going to understand. But
then why are you listening to a
why
theater
are you
podcast?
listening to this? I know you should have seen all those things.
Maybe they're like, I want to get into theater, but I'll listen to this podcast.
Yes, so sorry about that. But Moulin Rouge, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the experience immensely. And having hated the movie, I was just pleasantly surprised. So I hope it comes to Tampa.
It better.
I hope that everyone in Tampa gets to see it because it's a really, really great show.
Yes. Well, I selfishly hope that I get to see it because it is high on my list. So you also saw something else, though. So can you tell me about
I
that?
did. So I saw a show called Freestyle Love Supreme.
So what is that? Because I hear everyone talking about this.
Yeah,
It has
so
something to do
it's-
with Lin-Manuel Miranda.
It does. He helped create it with a couple of other folks, and it is freestyle hip hop. And I'm going to just say this. I went to these shows not thinking I was going to like either one of them. I don't really prefer hip hop. I wasn't sure what to expect. Again, the coworker I was with really wanted to see it, and I was like, okay, we can go see it. So one of the things I learned when I researched it was the cast kind of rotates. So there are 3 or 4 cast members that are on every night, but then there are guest rappers that come on, and one of the guest rappers is Lin-Manuel Miranda. But you never know if he's going to be there. It's always just a surprise. And so we went in the theater, and actually when we walked in, I had my first Yonder pouch experience.
Oh.
So they had the Yonder pouches. For anyone who doesn't know, they give you this little pouch. You're supposed to put, if you have a smartwatch or a Fitbit and your telephone, and you put it in there and they lock it and they give it back to you. So you keep it with you and you take it in the theater, and you cannot use your phone or your smart device during the show at all.
Right.
If you have an issue, you can go out to the lobby and they can unlock it, and then you can use it, but you're not using it in the theater. So I found that really, really cool. I like it that they were forcing the theatrical experience on everyone, stop using your phone and actually pay attention. But I completely understand why they do it And I'm going to tell you why in a second.
Okay.
So they locked up our phones and our watches. We go in.
The digital team at the
Yes,
Straz
I
Center.
know. The digital team has no devices. And so we're sitting there and they start, and basically what they do is they come on, they introduce themselves, they're rapping, and there's audience participation. So they ask the audience for a verb. They're like, just give us a verb. And so they ask, and they get like 10 different verbs from people in the audience, and they liked the one misbehaving. And so they freestyle rap this song all around the word misbehaving. So the first guy does his freestyle, and then he throws it to the second guy, and then he throws it to the girl that's there, and they throw it to the fourth guy. And so they all create these original raps around the word misbehaving. And it was really creative and really fun, high energy. It was really, really great. And so they go into the second song, and they had asked someone for a story, like, tell us a story about when you were misbehaving. And so this person in the audience tells them this story. And so they create this freestyle story all around her story, which was really, really cool. And I was like, wow, this is really, I mean, I could never come up with something like that on the fly, like that, on stage in front of a bunch of people. And so my coworker was really disappointed because she's like, oh, Lin-Manuel Miranda's obviously not going to be here tonight because he wasn't on stage. And so they're like, we're going to introduce you now to our MC. And he runs out on stage. Everybody goes crazy. And that is the moment where everybody would have whipped out their phones and started recording the concert instead of watching the concert because Lin-Manuel Miranda was on stage. And so thank goodness for the Yonder pouch.
Wow.
Everyone was present at the concert. Their minds weren't somewhere else. They weren't trying to tape. They weren't trying to take pictures. They were fully present in this experience. It was amazing. I loved it. And like I said, I don't like hip hop. I don't like rap. And I loved this performance.
Yeah, that's such a cool concept. We actually locally have a few musical improv groups. They don't rap, I don't think, but it's kind of a similar thing where they interact with the audience, get have them define some structure, and then kind of perform an improvised musical.
Yeah, and that's what they were doing. It was musical improv. That's exactly how I described it to my husband. It was like improv, and we were really lucky because Lin-Manuel Miranda was on stage. Another original Hamilton cast member came on stage.
Oh, wow.
And then a third original Hamilton cast member came on stage. And so it was kind of like Hamilton night at Freestyle Love Supreme. So we were really lucky. We were in the right place at the right time. And we waited at the stage door for Lin-Manuel Miranda to come out.
Oh, I loved that.
Yes,
That was my favorite thing of
got
going
a
to see a show.
selfie, got an autograph, and that's just one of those once in a lifetime experiences that you have when you can do that.
I'm gonna need to see that photo.
Yeah.
I'm glad you liked the Yonder pouch because Madonna, who I will be seeing in just a few months, is requiring everyone to use the Yonder pouch because she does not want cell phones being used while she's performing. And so it's been quite controversial amongst her fan base because, everyone obviously in a concert situation, you're used to taking photos and filming. But I love the idea of what you just said of just enjoying the show and not watching something that you paid $100+ for through a phone, through a digital device. Then why don't you just watch it on Netflix?
Yeah, just enjoy it.
Yeah, that's part of the beauty of theater is that it's there and then it's gone. It's just that 2 hours that you are all together, and then it's never going to be recreated again.
Yeah, it was funny because at the conference that I was at, it was a digital marketing conference, and they were talking about why do we take people's phones away from them in the theater experience, because they're your best advocates if they're taking pictures, and then they're tweeting, and they're on Facebook, and they're on Instagram, and they're actually telling your story for you, and stop taking their phones away from them. But from the artist's point of view, you're there to see the artist. You're not there to do all of these things. And so everyone's kind of split down the middle on whether we should allow phones or not allow phones. And so we kind of let the artist choose at this point how they want it to be.
Yeah, because I think we talked about this earlier, that it really should not be one or the other. It's really kind of dependent on the piece. Like for Freestyle Love Supreme, it sounds like that is more of an intimate place where you'd want to feel safe sharing your story and not having someone film that.
Right.
And then also you'd want to just enjoy it when a big celebrity pops on stage and you don't want a bunch of phones kind of blocking your view or just kind of causing light.
Right.
But so even while you were out gallivanting amongst New York elites, I was home alone. But I also got to catch some really great theater myself right here at the Straz Center. I started the week strong with JobSite's new production of the Thanksgiving play, which I want to go with you to see this again because I think you would really like this.
Okay.
And I really loved it. It actually wasn't fully what I was expecting because it's really a fun comedy, but it does have it's really smart and it has a bite to it. I
Hmm.
thought the bite was going to be stronger and was kind of prepping myself for more of a lesson and this is, really a commentary on kind of woke white people.
Right.
And it is, but it's in a really fun way. It's a great package and I think that's what I love. I love comedy as revolution. I feel like comedy is the best way to change people's minds and bring people into your tent when you look at like The Cosby Show or Will and Grace or um, Harold and Maude, all these kind of comedies that are breaking down the walls of, people's prejudices. So I definitely highly recommend it. It is a blast. The cast is hysterical. The premise is it is a drama teacher, middle school drama teacher, and she has been charged with putting on a Thanksgiving play but she has all these scholarships that she got or uh, grants that she got. So she has to, she got one from like a women's association. So she needs to hire a woman that is the focal point of the story. She also got one for Native American Heritage Month. And so the Thanksgiving play also needs to honor the story of our first people. And so it's kind of like, how do four white people um, tell a story, the traditional story that we all know about Thanksgiving, but also telling the real story of
Right.
what happened,
Right.
and how can you balance it? It's really and it's just really funny, kind of where they end up, and makes you think. It was a really good opportunity to um, take a step back and look at it. But it is the most produced play of the year.
Really?
Yes, it is. I'm actually going to be seeing it again in LA this week. So
Oh
I'll
my
be able
gosh.
to tell you about the difference between JobSite's production and the Geffen Playhouse's
Okay.
production. So
Cool.
stay tuned.
Very nice.
And on Friday, I got to see Diavolo Architecture in Motion.
So how did that go? I was really disappointed that I missed that one.
Well, I will tell you what one audience member said at the Q&A following the performance. She said in her 50 years of theater going, this was the most moving piece of theater she's ever seen and
Mm.
experienced. And I have to say, it was just incredibly moving. It was so personal. Jacques, the artistic director, he kind of introduced the whole thing, and he's just such a charming person. And it was just wonderful that he was there to introduce each piece. And he had this kind of casualness about him that really, because it's high art, like it's abstract performance through dance and movement. And the fact that, and it's often presented in these very kind of elite um, ways. And the fact that he kind of broke down that wall and just was there to talk to the audience. I saw him I was in the mezzanine, so I saw him up front on the stage introducing, and then he would run off the stage. I looked back in the sound booth,
Uh-huh.
and there he was, like controlling the sound
Wow.
and cues. I was like, he does everything. I thought that was amazing. But the performance, I mean, just what they can do with their bodies is incredible. They're climbing all over these giant structures, making shapes that you could never imagine a human body making, and all telling a story at the same time. And the fact that it was a company from Los Angeles interacting with local performers. Their second piece, Fred Johnson, just sang jazz songs too. It was like a beautiful love story between two people. It was just a door that they were climbing all
Oh,
around.
I've seen that door one before. It's
Yeah.
really, really cool.
It is it just was so lovely.
I used to have a cat that I said was a Diavolo cat because she used to like to climb on the top of doors like that.
Oh.
So yeah, I love that door piece. That's a great piece.
I know every door that I've walked through since, I've been trying to like parkour my way.
Are you trying to do it? Are you
Yeah,
trying
maybe
to climb on the side and pull yourself up on the top?
work my way into the Diavolo company.
You're gonna have to do pole dance exercise to strengthen your core enough to do that stuff. Yeah,
I would be down for that.
Yeah.
But it was wonderful. It was just cool to see a collaboration between a national company and our local performers. And then finally the evening ended with, the moment we were all waiting for. We've been honored to work with Diavolo and on their Veterans Project, where we work with local veterans and civilian dancers, and they partner with the Diavolo Dance Company to devise a wholly original piece about the veterans' experience. And how cool it is to have an original piece with local performers collaborating with an internationally recognized dance company to share just tonight for one night with our audiences. It was just a really incredible moment. I've had very few of those moments locally. It's definitely one that I will remember for quite a long time.
That's cool.
So, don't leave me ever again.
Well, I mean, I was hoping you were going to be able to go to New York with us.
I know. Yeah.
That just didn't work out, but maybe next year.
Next year we'll take this show on the road.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. So what we can do is when Moulin Rouge, hopefully if Moulin Rouge comes to the Straz Center, then we can see it together and we can compare it to the New York version. When I saw the show, they put a little insert in the book because it wasn't the original cast on that night. So there was let's see, the original cast were in most of the roles, but the lead female, Satine, was the understudy.
Oh.
And she was fabulous.
So Karen Olivia was not
No.
in attendance.
So it was let's see, Ashley Lauren.
Ashley Lauren. You know what? I love when I get the standby or the understudy because I feel like they sometimes are better.
They work harder.
Yeah, they have more to prove. You just feel that excitement, and I feel like the cast is wanting to wrap their arms around. Yeah, because they're like, this is exciting. You just feel that. I remember the first time I saw Wicked, Kristen Chenoweth was there, but Idina was not. It was her standby, Eden Espinoza, who was amazing. And at first I was kind of disappointed because, at that time,
you wanted to see
Idina
Menzel,
and Kristen are celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
So you wanted to see them in those iconic roles. But man, Eden really knocked my socks off. And I was really just thrilled that I felt like I was seeing something special that not everyone gets to see all the time. So I kind of love when that happens.
Yeah, I liked it. I enjoyed it. I had no expectations walking in. I hadn't looked to see who was playing in it at all.
Right.
So it didn't matter to me that there was a substitute in the role. So I was like, oh, okay. And she was great. I liked her. She had a great voice. She was fabulous.
Well, substitutes are great except when they're substituting us because
right.
no one can replace us.
Yes, we don't want any substitutes on this podcast.
So, next time we're going to see Fiddler on the Roof.
Fiddler on the Roof.
I haven't seen Fiddler in years.
The last time I saw Fiddler was with the guy who starred in the movie.
Oh, in the show.
He was in the show.
I don't know why I automatically just went to you going to see Fiddler with him.
I don't know how to pronounce his name. Is it Tevi?
Tevye?
Tevye. I saw him on stage. So, and when they came here to Morsani Hall, I don't remember which version because they've been here a couple of times, but I saw
Yeah.
him on stage. He was fabulous.
I saw Harvey Fierstein and Rosie O'Donnell
That's an interesting fiddler.
in Fiddler.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if this will compare.
We will see.
They had a Broadway Cares program going on, like deal where you could donate a certain number and amount of money, and Harvey Fierstein would leave a voicemail, like your voicemail message for you. So I was like, oh, I was in high school at the time, so I had no money. I was
Right.
like, oh, I wish I had money. And every time someone called me, they'd hear Harvey Fierstein's voice. You've reached Zach.
So that should be fun. Fiddler should be fun.
Yes, I'm pumped and excited to see another show with you.
I'm excited.
This
too.
whole episode has been about my clinginess
That's
to
okay.
you, my
You can
neediness.
be clingy. That's okay. I get it.
Codependence. Theatrical codependence. Well, thank you, LeeAnn. I am never going to forgive you, but we'll certainly try. And congratulations to all the New York casts, all of the Straz cast. Thank you to Diavolo. Go see the Thanksgiving play. It's running through November 17th. And we will see you next time. I'm Zachary Hines, and this is what you missed at the Straz.